Yo, welcome everyone to the Bleezy Show. Your boy Bleezy back here again. It's bright and early over here on the East Coast, about 7:45 a.m., and I saw a fresh drop on my feed. No Hit Jerome seems to have put out a new Classic Plus leaks video. Now, we haven't seen it, we haven't looked into it. I will go ahead and say there's a spoiler warning on his thumbnail, so I will give one as well on mine, and also a spoiler warning right now. Now, listen, if you've been following this channel, we are all over Classic Plus news as soon as it comes out. We've been posting a lot of Ascension gameplay because I am just starving for Classic, okay? And listen, I'm not going to shill Ascension. It's not everyone's cup of tea, I get it, but it's shown me how much we've missed in the last 10-15 years. And wow. So I'm not the biggest Blizzard hater. I still occasionally play retail, TBC, all that good stuff. But listen, No Hit Jerome is always on top of these leaks, and he's always on top of the information regarding Classic Plus as soon as it comes out, becomes public. He must have some pretty good sources. So I would say go follow his channel, go sub to his YouTube, and all that. He seems to be pretty on point with a lot of things, but no one knows what is actually going to come to fruition or whatever after all said and done, and once we finally get the release. So we'll have to see. My hopes aren't too high, my hopes aren't too low. I'm trying to just be realistic about it with what Blizzard has given us over how many years now. So I think we can all agree with that. I will say, I want to know your opinion on Classic Plus and what you want. We're gonna look through the comments on this on his under his video, and we'll see what they are also speaking of and what they're wanting, what they want to see. I'm sure my opinions are going to be different, but the main point is there's no way everyone's going to be made happy. Like, Blizzard cannot satisfy the super old gray-haired boomers that don't want any changes. They want slow pace, no gratification the whole way. And then I'm me, the oldest Gen Z, 29 years old, and I'm probably wanting something a little bit faster, but definitely not retail, not classic. And then we're definitely not going to be able to get new people even younger than me if we're doing like the boomer style, right? They're not going to like that extremely slow pace. Sorry, my thoughts are everywhere. It's very early in the morning. I'll go ahead and get this started. I'm just super excited. I want Classic Plus more than anything. I've been loving Ascension, and I just want Classic Plus to be good. Let's see what No Hit Jerome. Now he does have a spoiler warning on his thumbnail. I'll put it up as well. Let's get this started though. Okay, so No Hit Jerome, go check out his YouTube. Let's see what he's got to say.
Classic WoW back in 2004, laying out the exact plans he would do if he were to build Classic Plus. And the most credible leak we've seen related to Classic Plus out of dozens and dozens of potential leaks. Both the leak and the lead developer vision share a lot in common. And if this is what Classic Plus is going to be, it will be mind-blowing. One of the leaks for Classic Plus...
Well, we're already getting pretty excited here, aren't we? Now let's see if we can live up to that intro, Mr. No Hit Jerome. This better be some crazy information, because if it's not whole new zones, if it's not whole new quest lines, if it's not whole new items, whole new professions, I mean, what are we even talking about?
Real legs behind it, because multiple people have reached out to me via Discord DMs and said that this is a real leak. Or at the very least...
Well, then it has to be true. I mean, there's no way it hasn't been, right? I've been reading all the leaks religiously, and they pissed me off, so I made a real one.
That it has significant...
How are we supposed to know this one isn't fake?
And we're talking about the
Let's see.
Fisher King leak. This dude claims he playtested Classic Plus, and a lot of the stuff he says makes complete sense. That the game is set in Azeroth, that it has vanilla talents, no new land masses, no Maelstrom.
No new land masses. Okay, so if we look at even Ascension, there's not whole new continents, but there are like islands and like Dawnrise Fair. They've moved like the Dawnrise Island. Like there's whole new areas in these continents. Surely there's new zones, right? Surely. I cannot fathom a world where someone will be in the comments below this and say, Bleezy, you are being stupid. I don't want new zones at all. Like, come on, guys. You can go play vanilla, right? Don't make me mad. It's too early.
Founded in the same Azeroth we've known and we've loved for 20 plus years. Now, very interestingly, this grounded approach to Classic Plus is mirrored directly by the lead developer of 2004 WoW, Mark Kern. You may know him as Grums on Twitter. But anyways, when he was asked for his vision on what the future of Classic WoW should be, this is what he said.
They should clearly set out the design pillars for what makes WoW Classic, and as they make modifications and tweaks and improvements to classes, they make sure that they don't deviate from those pillars. Because if
Is he choosing to not work on this, or is he not a part of the team on purpose? Like, was he removed? I would rather have someone who worked on that back then to be working on this now, if at all possible.
If you
Maybe
just
he's not even
go
into
through the
this
expansion
industry
route,
anymore.
I mean, after Burning Crusade, it just starts becoming more and more and more retail. I think there needs to be sort of like an alternate reality where World of Warcraft didn't go the way of retail WoW and stuck to those guiding principles, and then more content gets created along those paths. And you can reuse all the expansion pack content, but I think you have to be really careful about what features you bring over and how you handle the difficulty.
I don't want to just walk through Elwyn Forest as a warrior. I don't want to just walk through Tedrasil as a druid. I don't want to do that again. I've done it 100, 200, 500, 6,000 times. I don't want to do it again. Even TBC, I don't want to walk through Outland and have to do this same class, same quest, same abilities, no new zones, same raids. No, that's a fail. That would fail, and if you disagree with me, you better tell me why in the comments, and you better have a dang good reason, because no, bro, you can go do that right now. There's TBC servers, they're about to be in Wrath. There's vanilla servers in Classic Era, they're going to be there probably forever with you boomers. I mean, come on. Give me something new and give me good new. Don't give me retail. I don't need that fast pace. I don't need a mount at level 5. Come on now, just think clearly here. You need to appease not only your aging audience that sure is the majority, but come on. Like, you need to bring in new players and bring something new to the table, a new experience.
Handle the encounters for that.
Now, this vision of Classic Plus, it almost sounds too good to be true, but it gets better, because going back to our leak, it specifically mentions races being playable that were never playable in any retail.
That's great and all, but what's the gameplay of that? Are we going to get a new starting zone for them? That's cool. Okay, up until level 10. Like, new race? I don't give a... Let me play as an ant. I don't care. I'll play as a piece of grass. Okay, I don't care. Just let the gameplay be fun.
Or classic expansion.
I'll play as one of the Hawkstriders from the Barrens. I don't give a... What are my moves going to be? Dash? Fight? I don't... If it's fun, it's fun, but...
Unexplored lore.
Come on.
And alpha models. And Warcraft ideas. And wouldn't you know it, but there is a developer currently working at Blizzard that has had a dream...
All full gray hair. And listen, gray hair, that's not a huge deal, right? Everyone's got gray hair. But listen. I'm wanting to see someone here who isn't 50 years old, right? Like, okay, they have as much of an opinion as I do. It matters just the same, all of that. But you just know, or maybe I'm just being a doomer about it, but I just feel like they're going to push this in a direction where it's like hardly any changes.
Race in mind for more than 20 years.
Well, we had more races planned in the beginning than we had time to do. 20 possible races or something ridiculous like that. And the race
that's not that
regretted
ridiculous.
Cutting the most, well, one person regretted the most, is the Naga. The Naga were a playable race, or supposed to be a playable race, and it was Chris Metzen's favorite race.
Now it is worth...
That doesn't sound very fun. Like, what is the RP of playing a Naga? Right? I mean, even in Ascension, there's so much good class RP. There's 21 classes, by the way. Okay, they didn't introduce new races, I don't think, but there's 21 classes. I would much rather have even half of that of new classes. Now, Blizzard's not going to give us that because they're just not capable of it. I'm sorry to break the news to you, but they're not. So I'm not trying to be a doomer. They can still make it work. I hope they make it work, but my sights are set too high, and these boomers are just thinking so low. Like, it's
worth noting that Chris Metzen...
And by the way, 10 for 20 races, like, that's not that unbelievable if you've been working on it for years, right? Like, come on now. That's not that ridiculously hard to implement.
It really couldn't happen. There were more than a few reasons, according to the 3D WoW level designer, John Stats.
The Naga as a playable race didn't make it. That was...
I mean, if that's your thing and you're like, holy crap, I would love to play a Naga, I just don't see that being the majority of people. But I'm not even against them adding it. Have fun. Go play your Naga. But come on, that's not enough for Classic Plus, right? Come on. We're not just adding one race, right? We're not just adding 0 classes, 1 race, no new zones, right? Like, am I in just a different reality? Like, do you guys not enjoy playing new games or like updates to your game that you love that are good? Like,
a lot of support from the team.
I think I'm just out of my box here, out of my...
except the animators who are really in the know that said, well,
double cheeked up against Lady Vash. Okay.
How are we going to do Naga with armor sets, armor pieces. You don't want to play a Naga, as cool as the Naga are. You don't want to still only have like 5 or 6, maybe arm pieces or something. I don't even think the arms would have.
Yeah, exactly.
Had to redesign.
What's the RP here?
The armor sets.
But the problem of players not being able to see their leg armor notwithstanding, most of the technical challenges from 2004 are essentially non-existent in 2026. At least that's according to 3D artist Tomcat.
No doubt there's been plenty of experimentation with this internally, a lot more than I had time for now, and they will know the ins and outs far better than I do. But here's the hoping, that someday those experiments materialize into a 20-year-old dream fulfilled.
The reality is that most of the
That's hopeful thinking. I mean, the thing is, guys, I'm not trying to be a doomer. It's just Blizzard has let me down for so many years. Have I ever had fun in retail? Absolutely. I can think of, getting AOTC in the raids is sometimes fun. KSM in the early stages of the patch, each patch is kind of fun. It's kind of all I really do in retail nowadays.
things that were impossible or very difficult
But that's
in
it.
2004 are entirely
Some of the zones look all right aesthetically, but they're each of the last several expansions, they kind of just fragmented out, and then they're each small, so the whole expansion doesn't even feel that big.
possible now. That also includes things like playable ogres. They were famously a mess with their bulk and their animations.
That
and
could
apparently,
be
female ogres just not being hot enough. Though I'm not entirely sure 2026 Blizzard can solve that any more than 2000.
ogres is at least a step in the right direction, maybe, because I could see them being a bunch of different classes. I guess the Naga also have spellcasters and melees, but neither one of them sound like, okay, that's the RP I've been waiting for.
2004 could.
Like a blood mage, right? Go check out my videos, or a Venomancer, or like any of those classes. Or
Actually,
I'm just in a
we're gonna
different
figure out how
world,
to make
guys.
Female ogres to be
Trying to be
an
happy here.
attractive
Come on.
option. Well, we also wanted our female players to play like the character that they wanted to play, and we just didn't know how.
Now, while we go crazy with the new races, it is worth noting that this leak does not mention any faction identity changes at all. No cross-faction, and a big return to war in Warcraft, even though we have heard those very controversial Blizzard quotes lately.
Sometimes he's like, man, I wish we hadn't called it Warcraft. It sounds kind of intimidating.
Now, the leak
Dude, okay, get her out. Get her out. Get her. Holly's done. She's retired. Get her gone. She's holding back the whole process. Her and her team of, oh my god, get out of here.
also mentioned
We want the Warcraft. Even your girl players want the Warcraft. We want to go into battle in a big ass raid, and I don't know, I can't speak for the girls, but the guys, man, come on. Like, we want to go to the big ass raids. We want to go to the, and you know what? Housing and retail, that's not the worst. I'm not a big housing hater. Like, I think that's a step in the right direction. That's pretty cool. I don't think it's there yet, but it's something. I think it's a step in the right direction. But even Holly, that's not the one thing I've heard Holly say it's stupid. I've also heard Ian say, like, oh, we had no idea players wanted to go back to the old classic world. We have so much we could have done. You son of, we have told you since 2019, and way before, by the way, 2019, but like years before Classic was originally re-released, we wanted that. It's the whole reason it came out. And people have been on that probably since TBC came out originally, saying let's go back to Classic. I mean, it's just crazy what comes out of their mouths publicly. Like, it's almost a little bit like
having
spit in your
Paladins
face
be
as a
Alliance
player.
and Shamans be Horde. Though, keep in mind that these leaks are from many months ago at this point. Though that still may be up in the air, because executive producer Holly Longdale, she recently let slip during a Dungeons & Dragons live stream promoting the new Blizzard Dungeons & Dragons game, which seems pretty sweet. Apparently, her favorite race class combo to play in this new game is, well, just listen.
Or maybe even try something new.
New combinations like a Demon Hunter Tauren.
That's ridiculous. I'm thinking more like Undead Paladin for me.
What possible race
Okay, well, first of all, do we want Shamans on Alliance? Do we want Paladins on a Horde? I think you just do it. I mean, there's a lot of limitations if we don't do it, and it doesn't feel good. Like, it doesn't feel like an RP. There should be like maybe one class on each that can be, or one race that can be each of those classes, vice versa. But I don't know. I'd be open to hearing the other side. It wouldn't be a make or break. Like if I can't do it on Alliance, if I can't play Shaman, I love Shaman. I don't play Paladin very much, but Holy Paladin I like. If I can't do that, then whatever. It's not a huge deal. I'll just make one on the other race if I really want to play it. But okay, Undead Paladin or Fell Hunters in Classic Plus, Demon Hunters, whatever. That doesn't feel right. Yeah, that kind of takes away from like Classic RP. That's something like you would see in a private server or like a free pick server. Something about that takes away from the RP, right? Like Warlock Taurens. That's just not that's not what Taurens are, right? They would never curse the land or draw from it, steal from it, use their own life force for power. No, they would take nutrients from the land and they would use it to better something. You know what I'm saying? The RP isn't there
These
for
class
undead
combos
paladins.
aside, how would the
It's
game
too
be
early in the
actually
morning.
different than Classic in the first place? Well, we wouldn't be having this Season of Discovery rune system.
Thank
which you might
God.
remember augmented your character with new abilities. Instead, apparently, we would just be getting new abilities in general. Maybe from
Okay, that's good. I'd much rather have just new spells. The rune system isn't even the worst thing of SOD, but it definitely. I think we can all agree that SOD ended on a bad kind of, with a bad feeling in the community. I know some people still play it. It's not the worst ever. I'm not saying it's. I'd rather play SOD than retail. Okay, but
quests, maybe just from your trainer. There would also be a very, very big focus on set bonuses, for class balancing. Meanwhile, world buffs would still very much be in the picture, which does actually match how the original devs felt.
My view is that they weren't an exploit. The fact that you would go out there and seek out buffs that would buff you up to 30% more effective was just a part of hardcore life.
The big difference
I think world buffs are fine in general. Yeah, honestly, I know a lot of people don't like it, but I don't really see a lot of issue with world buffs. At least they come to my mind immediately. I haven't thought about it too deeply. I mean, going out and getting them kind of sucks. The chrono boom, I think fix that, whatever it's called, chrono boom. I think it fixes that and that you can save them. But I mean, let's just be honest. At some point in Classic, it always turns into raid logging, right? Unless you just make a new character, or just go PvP. But even then, you eventually get your best gear, and kind of just turns into raid logging. And that's not necessarily a horrible thing. You can go out and do other stuff, join, I don't know, random groups, I guess. But I don't know. I'd like to know what you think about world buffs, how you would implement it, or any changes, because I'm
with
not
world
sure.
buffs now is that they would be less of a thing just for the sweatiest players. According to the leak, Alliance would finally get their own standalone version of Rend, so they could get the buff whenever they want. Meanwhile, head drops for world buffs would become a repeatable thing you could do every week, which would really improve world buffs for people with limited time. But this might
Wait,
perhaps
it would do. Hang on, let me re-listen to that. What are they trying to do with a weekly drop on the head buff?
head drops for world buffs would become a repeatable thing you could do every week.
Or now a weekly
which
repeatable
would
turn
really
in.
improve world buffs for people with limited time. But this might perhaps be the most interesting line in the entire league. You will not be logging in and rushing to 60 to clear Molten Core. There will be progression and value in taking your time and soaking in the world around you. You'll want to
What is this? That's a new little spot, isn't it? Maybe not. I'm all fine with taking my time. In fact, I would prefer that. A slow-ish progressive server, right? I mean, as long as we're staying in the classic world, take as long as you want, right? It's not like a whole new expansion's coming out. So now, Blizzard, don't hear that and take 2 years for a new raid, or even a year for a new raid. Don't even take 6 months if you don't have to, but maybe like 6 months. I don't know. I'm so ruined in classic now that in my mentality. But please, if it's going to be the same zones, same classes, same races with like an extra race or two, like no, that's too slow. Because now I'm just playing vanilla again with a couple changes.
interact with strangers and familiar faces and enemies. All of it will come into play with faction-oriented goals and individual guild objectives. And wouldn't you know it, but this is exactly what Mark Kern and the other original developers wanted all along.
People are asking me, how is WoW Classic going to survive modern times? And I think it's going to survive modern times by not dicking around too much with it, warts and all. Like I think you have to make changes, but you're going to have a guiding set of philosophies that you never, because if you start making change after change, you just become retail WoW after a while.
Yeah.
And that defeats the whole purpose of sort of like taking the design philosophies a slice in time at the beginning and carrying them forward.
It seems like to me they have a already like guaranteed return on investment with how much Classic was enjoyed. How it shouldn't take you. There's plenty of teamwork going on, plenty of people that are hired, even brought back on. So it's not like it's inexpensive. I'm not going to say that to put it out, but it's like surely the return on investment has been shown in these past years for even like re-releases, like the anniversary servers. People still boost characters. People still, and that was just spinning up new servers and putting out the patch again. Like it's just amount of that does take time and dev teamwork, but come on, there's no way they can't make it profitable somehow, some way. Whether they sell something in game, I don't care if they put a WoW token in Classic Plus, as long as it's the best game ever, right? Like I could care. I want a better game than I don't want more than I don't want the WoW token. Now, please, Blizzard, don't put the WoW token in Classic Plus. But I'm just saying, like, give me a good game, and all the rest can take
what
back
were those design
back seat.
philosophies? They were about having a meaningful
If
experience.
selling a WoW token means that it's going to be a better game, and it's like the one thing you can buy, or maybe it's cosmetics instead, something just. I know everyone's gonna hear WoW token just instantly hate it. Don't get me wrong, I feel you. Okay, I get it, but it's hard for me to imagine a world where they just nail all of this. You know,
leveling, having a sense of achievement. Why not? Why not bring back MMOs with a little more
there should be
challenge, where you
achievements.
actually feel like you live in this world, that you're not just dashing through it. Maybe people just want instant gratification, but I like to think that there's still a lot of people that want this slower paced experience.
Let me know if you love or
I want both, right? I want to feel gratification as I'm moving through the progressive content at a decent pace. No, I don't want retail speed, but I don't know if I want 30 mobs to kill, 10% drop rates. You know, I'm not sure if I want that either. You know, if it's 30 mobs and a lot of XP, or they drop items maybe, but there's a lot that goes into it. Now, No Hit Jerome, I'll let him finish out here. Go check out his YouTube. He seems very knowledgeable
hate
about
this
these
vision
things.
for Classic Plus, and absolutely make sure to subscribe because the dam
Yeah, go
is
check him out.
breaking on Classic Plus leaks.
Go check him out. No Hit Jerome. We subbed to him a while ago. He's pretty good. This only has 27,000 only 27,000 views. But I do want to take a look before I end at these comments down here. Now I'll move my cam over while we do this. It seems to me that I am in the minority for a lot of the things I say. Am I because I'm a little bit younger than these people? Yes to slower pace. No instant gratification. I'll move. I should have some text up here, don't I? I'll move it over here just for a quick moment while we look at these YouTube comments. Let's see what people actually want. Yes to slower pace. Are we sorted by top right now? No to instant gratification. Okay. Obviously, that's a very, very vague statement, but I would generally agree. I mean, I don't want to just get in there and get a mount at level 5. That's the one thing I don't like about Ascension. They've kind of made things almost a little bit too fast, like at a mop speed, I would say, but the mount is like the one thing that's an outlier. You get at level 5. That's not what I want. You know, I don't want to get my BIS gear before level 60. Like, you know, I don't want to get like any kind of anything beyond pre-raid BIS out of those dungeons, right? Something I get to the end of the game. Unless it's like a crazy rare drop, maybe. I don't know. This is just so vague. It's hard for me to imagine what he's thinking of. Like gear, items, leveling, like going through the zones, questing. Do 100% agree that Classic Plus should keep that slow feel. I come back to Classic WoW. Okay, I mean, sometimes you have to even wonder if these people are human. Come back to Classic WoW ever now and then, start from scratch and claw my way up. I will say, as broken as that sentence was, one of my favorite things to do in Classic Vanilla, whether it's hardcore or just, I haven't made it to 60 in hardcore, so just the vanilla world, is start out on my class as someone like a caster. I play a warlock and druid. That was my first ever character back in original Cataclysm was a warlock, undead warlock. I love starting out as a like cloth wearing. I barely have a robe on. I've got like a don't even have shoes on half the time. Like it's and then I work my way up to really cool looking gear with like effects on it, and you just feel it makes you feel stronger when you're leveling up. So I do kind of agree with this sentiment. And I think most people kind of agree that the journey is like the biggest part of Classic WoW. Now let's see. Mr. No Hit, you've done it again. Masterful Gambit, sir. Was a very good video. Go check out No Hit Jerome. Well, it was an alright video. I'm not going to call that amazing. Kind of seemed to look pretty speculative. What Classic Plus, and more importantly, I just didn't get information that I wanted to hear. Okay, the video itself is fine. I didn't get the information I was wanting, which is like crazy awesome, but perfectly balanced changes. I'm going to keep dreaming. What Classic Plus really need is new zones, like Turtle had, more races. Okay, this guy is living, he's thinking inside the box, and his box is very small, right? Like you are, if your biggest improvements you can think of is like a new zones and new races, that's a great start. But we're talking about a whole new like project, right? We're not just gonna quit there. We're gonna do classes, we're gonna do raids, we're gonna do dungeons, we're gonna do open world experiences, world bosses, professions, abilities. New zones is great. I do agree. And new races, sure, why not? But that's not enough. Like that is, even if it's like one zone on the Horde and one zone on the Alliance, that's a great start. But that's not enough. Naga mounts would need to include a chariot. Yeah, I do like that. I do like that. If we include some Naga, and someone says I pooped my pants just now. Okay, so that's about all we're gonna get out of the WoW section. We actually found some of the brightest WoW players out there just now. So thank you everyone for tuning in. I'm going to post this and I want to see your comments. Please let me know what you want, what you disagreed with, everything I said that you didn't like. Let me know. I'll explain to you why you're wrong. I'll hear your argument because listen, it's either going to be me not made happy or you not made happy or someone's not going to be happy after this. I'm kind of interested to see what Blizzard decides to sacrifice here. They're Gen Z or they're boomers. And that's coming from the oldest Gen Z. So let me know what you think. I'll see you in the next one. Go subscribe to No Hit Jerome. Also subscribe here. Go follow me on Twitch. We are live every single day on Twitch and YouTube. So new content daily. See you guys soon. Bye.